How firm a foundation, you saints of the Lord, is laid for your faith in his excellent word. What more can he say than to you he has said to you for refuge to Jesus have fled? Fear not, I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God and will still give you aid. I'll strengthen you, help you, and cause you to stand upheld by my righteous omnipotent hand.
I have your permission to play it. The only reason why I stopped it is because I didn't want the copyright Nazis to come get me. Here it is.
Thank you. Hit it, boys.
I remember this,
When I was
actually.
17, I qualified for the nationals in gymnastic competition, but I never got to go because my coach never told me I made it. So I made it, but I missed it. So I think that anger built up and spurted out into this song. Angry Woman by Victoria Jackson. Good God. Yo, mama. Get down. Get funky now. Always wanted to be Mick Jagger. I am an angry woman. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got a streak in my hair. Yeah, 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 yeah. I like to air my dirty laundry. If you don't like me, honey, I don't care. I drink, I cuss, I smoke, I swear, I spit. It ain't my problem if you don't like it. I hate you, yucko, pinko, jerko. Ah! I need a little love. Good God, yeah, it is fun. I tried to be a centerfold and playboy. They told me I was too fat. Yeah, 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 yeah. I tried to be a solid gold dancer. They told me I was too fat. Yeah, 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 yeah. Tried to be a secretary, but I thought I was smarter than the boss. I tried to be a Baptist missionary, but I got hung up on the cross. I need a little love.
It's crazy.
What's wrong? You don't have to play anymore.
That's great. And actually, we're going to do. We've asked Victoria to actually set it herself up here on the Pete Santilli show. She's got a balance beam in the other room. We're going to cut to that camera. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. You know what? Guess what I was thinking about? I was actually just reminiscing. In 1982, just a little bit before that. I mean, this was at an age when some of the greatest performers came from that age in the mid. John Belushi, for instance, on Saturday Night Live. I think you had gone to Saturday Night Live just shortly thereafter, a couple of years thereafter, right? 85, 86 or so.
86.
But that was such a, not just I call it an innocent age, but it was a grand age of when comedy and talent and us coming together to watch shows like that.
Okay.
Yes.
Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
In the 80s, Chevy would do a bumbling president. And in my year, Dana would do, he would do Bush and he would do Perot. But you know what? Do you know how different it is now? Alec Baldwin does Trump, and he has so much hate coming out of his face. It hurts my face. And then Alec Baldwin goes on Instagram and berates the president for 20 minutes on the airwaves after he doesn't. Can you imagine Chevy Chase in the 70s doing a bumbling president? Ford, who was he doing? And then going on the internet and berating him with hate for 20 minutes?
He never did.
Dana Carvey doing Bush and then going on the internet going, Bush is horrible. I hate him. I'm going to move out of the country. He should be killed. No. It's like, this show used to be about comedy, and now it's a Marxist brainwashing propaganda tool.
Oh yeah, they've used what was created, a beautiful thing that was created in the 60s, 70s, 80s, right? And it really became a huge thing right about that time when you came to prominence. And I'm mentioning this not to give you praise. I mean, your career is your career. Everybody knows who you are. But I'm just saying that was something that we need to do again. Like, let me give you an example. Since January 6th, this is the first time I've been a news nut for my entire life. I have not turned on the television. I can't it anymore. I can't stomach it because even on the internet, you hear these little clips of what they described as to what happened on January 6th. It's not even close to the truth. It's not, is it?
No, I was there.
Yeah, it's not even close to the truth. We are not domestic terrorists. There was a small group of people. There was some tear gas. But that was like an out-of-body experience. It was something that had nothing to do with the million people we stood with.
Yeah, I was in front of the Capitol for an hour, freezing to death, holding my flag. And I was so cold and I had to go to the bathroom. And I was like, how many hours do I have to do this? That would show that I love, that I support Trump and that I love freedom and election integrity. And then I slowly saw people climbing up the scaffolding. And I thought, oh, that's so cool. They're so passionate like me. And they were trying to get as high as possible to wave their flags. And then then someone put a big flag out there. And then slowly they trickled towards the glass doors, and then it looked to be like one of the doors got opened. I didn't see any glass smashing or anything, and I thought, oh, that's funny. They're so brave. They broke an entering. I would never do that,
Right.
Because I'm a Christian. I don't break enterings, even if whatever. And then I didn't see any violence. As I was leaving about 2:30, walking back to my hotel, I saw a bunch of ambulances and SWAT teams arriving and sirens and all. And so I thought, oh, I guess they're going to go after the people who got in.
But standing there, where were you? Did you feel like you were part of a patriotic event generally up to that point? Did you feel unsafe?
No, it was a safe, loving, peaceful, prayerful.
It was?
I have video of people marching by saying the Lord's Prayer, and it was very sweet. It was nothing like the news. When I went to my hotel room, they kept showing this 3-second clip over and over and over, the violence, and Trump and them to smash the Capitol. I go, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. I was there. And that's why I like to keep the TV on, because I want to see what their lies are. I keep waiting for them to show the Italian guy admitting that he flipped the thing on Dominion, and they're not showing it. And I'm like, when are you going to show it?
And it just so happened to be on that channel where even on an election night, they just started saying Joe Biden over and over and over again. They were showing Hillary Clinton clips. Joe Biden's going to be our president. Joe Biden won. Fox News, right? Yeah.
Fox cheated on me. I'm mad at them. My husband said that Laura Ingraham and Hannity and Tucker are still one of us. But you know what? They're not playing the Italian video.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point. All right, so what's in Victoria, what's in store? Because I said today, that the MAGA movement, the patriot movement, the Christian MAGA patriot, all the principles that we believe in, our nation was founded on godly principles. We thought President Trump was working on our behalf. So they're powerful. They ran him off the range. We're not done here. What do you think that is in store for our country, for a bunch of people like you, me, all the people that went there, 1.5 million of us is representative of a whole bunch of us. What is in store for us?
Okay, well, I think Trump's going to be the president in March.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, I love you. We can smoke some hopium, can't we? Huh?
Yeah.
Come on.
It could happen. And, he could be the president in 2024. He could be the president this March. He should be this March. Meanwhile, I want a truth channel. I want freedom of speech to happen. We've got to fight for it. And what else do I see?
Okay, how about tomorrow? Do you still have hope? Because I do. I think I have somebody that I can hope that, like, by 11:55, that he might be in his E4B, and he just cuts in. We interrupt this broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, the storm is upon us. And I lured everybody into D.C. and I've arrested them all. Wouldn't you love to hear that?
That's what's going to happen.
God will provide for that. It's not going to be President Trump. I think God is working through President Trump.
And you know what? If it doesn't happen, God has something better. Because He does the coolest things, like the parting of the Red Sea. God does things we can't even imagine. If we keep praying and if we of our sins and turn from our wicked ways.
Yes. Now, also, we have to recognize that if God wants our nation to fall, that's his will.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Israel kept sinning and sinning, and God kept having mercy on them and mercy on them. And finally he goes, okay, I'm punishing you. It's the only way you're going to learn. I do think God could decide to punish us, or I think it's the end times. Gog and Magog, Russia, Iran, China, all against the United States. They say the United States is not mentioned in the Bible, and that maybe we're the new Babylon mentioned in Revelation. And I do think it could be the end times, and that Jesus is coming back. So for a Christian, it's a win-win.
Yes.
For me to live as Christ, to die as gain, absent from the body, present with the Lord. And so, praise the Lord. Whatever way it goes is fine, because, and then you know what? Maybe we'll be martyrs. I mean, it happened. People are martyrs right now in the world who love Jesus.
Do you think that Christians will be, they are being persecuted, but do you think that it'll get even worse? The Bible says that that will come, that we'll be persecuted. And what do we do? I want to hear you. What do you intend to do? Because guess what? I want to be bold, unapologetic. I want to throw my red MAGA hat where, my lovely bride tells me, oh, no, we want to avoid conflict. No. I want to wear it now proudly. It's no longer political. It's more of a godly statement. But what do we do in the face of persecution? What do we do?
Wow. Well, Jesus kept his mouth shut. He was our example. When they crucified him, I guess for blasphemy, for saying that he was God, and he was innocent, and they were persecuting him, and he just was quiet. Remember that scene of the Muslims chopping the heads off of that row of men in orange?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
I mean, you can't fight back if people have a gun to your head. I mean, I think I would like to be like Stephen, who was being stoned to death, and then he just looked up and saw the Lord or something. I have this funny feeling that maybe God helps you not have pain if you're dying for him. That's my little theory.
That's a beautiful thought. Yeah. I'm certainly not afraid. And when I say boldly and apologetically, sometimes I speak as a U.S. Marine, so you're going to have to forgive me when I say that I want to be one of his warriors,
Thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you.
So much.
Thank you for your service too, right now, and speaking out the way you are. As we conversation here, I want to make sure that you tell everybody how they can stay in contact with you. And go ahead. I'll give you the final words here.
So I want to ask you, Pete.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that the military is divided pro and against Trump? Do you think that's the problem, that the whole military is not obeying him?
Okay. Now let's just speak to worldly reality. I will say this going forward. Some people are upset with Trump. Oh, he didn't do enough. No, it's at a much higher level. And I'm going to say this, that if Trump had, for instance, a military that said, hold on a second, we got foreign influence in an election here. We need to defend our Constitution. And the military took over and said, whoa, stop this thing. If, in fact, Biden is sworn in, Trump has to go to Mar-a-Lago, and he gets into, Trump TV, I'm going to blame it on the military. I'm going to have to. As a military veteran, I'm going to say that our military swore an oath, and they failed to obey by their oath. That's where President Trump's power would be in this situation, is the military would have to step up and say, Mr. President, you give us the authority. We will take care of this right now. We're going to round everyone up tomorrow. We're going to fire ICBMs at Nancy Pelosi, right? If they fail to do that, I'm going to have to blame not the President of the United States, but our military. Sad to say.
But you can't blame the whole military, just the bad ones.
No, the military commanders and the military industrial complex. That has nothing to do with our rank and file troops.
Communism crept into the universities, even the church.
Yes.
Yesterday, I was in Zoom in college, and I got so angry because my teacher suggested that the movie Witness, I'm in film school, was racial because there was force used against a black man. And I was so angry that my teacher was subtly pushing the Marxist agenda, racism and racial divide. I said, Witness, the movie is not racial. There's a good white cop and a bad white cop. There's a good black cop and a bad black cop. It's very even. And I said, cops have to use force against criminals. And by the way, my husband was a cop for 33 years. And he didn't just use force against black people. He shot I said, no, this is how I said it. I said, cops shoot white people too. And by the way, my husband was on the SWAT team, 12 years. And had to shoot a white man who was trying to kill his wife. I said, my husband didn't stop and say, what color is he? No, he shot the guy who was trying to kill his wife. He didn't look and see what color he was. And I'm so angry. And the Marxist agenda has crept into the church with the social justice movement. And it's crept into the universities. I had another great example.
Yes.
I forgot it. But the school system, the textbooks, I was studying them with Lori Cardozo-Moore, who's fighting Common Core, and they have 23 pages of Islam and one paragraph about Christianity. I just...
hey, listen, I'm on a mission. It's a godly mission, right? I really want to escalate this thing. We need to get constitutions in our schools. We need to read our constitutions, know what they're about. Don't you agree?
I have a great idea, Pete.
Come on.
We need to write the Constitution in our everyday speech because it's too hard to read. It's an old English speak. And I think someone clever like you should, with all your viewers, you should write, we have translations of the Bible,
sure.
The New Living Version,
the Pete Santilli version.
Make the Constitution easier to understand for the new generation.
Yeah. King James versus the Pete Santilli, right? Yes, I like that idea. You know what? Can I tell you something? Yesterday, I was thinking of getting our own printed up as well. And I would have to type it all out and do stuff like that. And it just came to me yesterday to do this, to get our own printed up. That's a great idea. Divinely inspired, I would say. Yeah, all the way around. It's so important that we understand how we were founded on godly principles. We declared independence. I say tomorrow, 12:01, we declare independence from these communists. Like, I don't recognize what they just did, what they're going to do. Just leave me alone. I'm going to leave me the heck alone. Just don't mess with me and don't take my stuff. And
I'm not going to obey them. I'm not going to obey them.
No, we're not. Okay, so listen, I'm holding you way over what I expected to because it's a great conversation, and thank you so much for coming on. I want to ask you a couple quick questions that we're reminiscing about what life was like, back then. Even in the 80s, it was a beautiful time to be alive. It was. Remember, that's when President Trump came to prominence. He's building skyscrapers I bought when I came out of the Marine Corps. Art of the Deal. It was the first thing I put in my briefcase. I had nothing else but that book. In the 80s, you could start a business out of your car. You could go be a comedian and begin a career. Over your entire career, what's what's your favorite time period and why? What was your favorite time period?
Oh, my favorite year of my personal life was 1988.
It was?
Because I had a 2-year-old baby. It was such a most exciting thing in the world, having a child, Scarlett. I was making tons of money, living in New York on Saturday Night Live. I wasn't new at the show. It was my second year, so the writers were starting to write me some good stuff, and I got my song "I'm Not a Bimbo" on the update desk, and Sting and Steve Martin were the host and the music. That show.
You were on the set with Steve Martin?
I was in some sketches with him, but that show was my highlight. "I'm Not a Bimbo" that I wrote to comment on the Jessica Huns scandal and that she was in Playboy and she said that. But anyway, not only were millions of Americans watching me and laughing, hopefully, but Sting and Steve were. And I was young and healthy, and it was a very exciting time.
Is Steve, by the way, the first concert I ever went to wasn't a rock concert. Guess what it was? It was a Steve Martin concert. Okay? Yeah. I mean, yes. Grandpa bought a rubber. Remember that? Huh?
I don't remember that.
No, I'm sorry. I'm a big Steve Martin fan, okay? Anyways, I apologize if you're offended by that, but that was Steve Martin back in the day. That was the crudest thing he ever said. Is Steve Martin as brilliant as I thought he was back then? Is he? Is he a brilliant actor, banjo player, everything?
He's one of my top, admiration things. But in person, he was very shy and quiet, and he was very serious about comedy. Comedy's a serious business.
Yes.
And he came into the first meeting with a briefcase, and he opened it up in Lauren's office where we're all huddled around talking about ideas for the show. It's Monday. And Steve, in his briefcase, was 3 yellow-lined legal pads, empty, and sharpened pencils.
He did. In his briefcase.
And then I was in this one sketch with him, and I was so intimidated. I was trying to be calm and cool. And he asked me, he goes, "Do you think it would be funnier if I walked out on my knees or just walked out normal?" Of the sketch at the end. It was a sketch, the slide whistle sketch that Al Franken wrote. And we were on a date, and Steve would say, "I'm a lawyer." And then my slide whistle would go, "Beep." And then he would say, "Public defender," go, "Beep." Like that. And, our thoughts. And I was like, I can't believe Steve Martin is asking me for comedy advice.
Can you imagine?
I don't know.
Tell me something. What the heck happened to Al Franken? One of the most brilliant comics ever went off the rails.
He was always a liberal. He was always political. And one time he wrote this thing for me to say on Update. I didn't know anything about politics in my 20s. And it was about term limits. And I was like, what is term limits? And it's funny now because, I truly believe in term limits. And I don't think he does. But anyway, he was very political, always.
He was then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stuart Smalley. They like me. They really, really like me. I mean, I was. Oh no, but continue on. Go ahead. We have just a couple more minutes for this segment.
Okay, well, my Al Franken story, he says he remembers it differently, but I was walking down the hall and alone, and I was thinking, man, Lord, I don't have any experience in, sketch comedy or impressions. I was never in Second City or the Groundlings. So, man, Lord, you must have me here. I had an audition. Lorne Michaels thought it was funny, and he hired me. And basically, my audition was my Johnny Carson stand-up material. I got this germ at the rally.
You did?
Yeah. I don't believe in masks, but yeah, it's not COVID, it's the cough. Anyway, so Al Franken, so I'm walking down the hall and I thought, this must be my mission field, because ever since I was 8 in church and we were reading Isaiah, and God said, whom shall I send? Who will go forth to tell the gospel? And then Isaiah said, here am I, Lord, send me. And when I was 8, I went forward at the Baptist church and I said, I want to be a missionary. Of course, all Christians are missionaries. You're just a good one or a bad one. But so anyway, I just remember saying to God, but please don't send me to Africa, because I saw these videos. There was like snakes and bugs, and it was scary, and spears and everything. And so I'm at Saturday Night Live and I'm thinking, this must be my mission field. Everybody needs to be saved. Jesus came to save everybody, not just people in Africa. People who are rich and famous, they need to be saved too.
Yeah.
And so then Al Franken, I was thinking that, and he came up behind me and he goes, we were alone, and he goes, Victoria, I just want to ask you, this offends me, but when you were in the meeting, you said something, and I thought, she's really smart, but she pretends she's a ditz. And I said, he said, it really offends me. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Well, I do have congenital palatal insufficiency. The doctor said that's why my voice is like this. But I said, you know what? Maybe my behavior is kind of ditzy because I'm overcompensating for what I'm really thinking about all the time, which is that I'm supposed to tell everyone here about Jesus. I said something like that to him.
And what did he do?
Oh, no. I said, I'm overcompensating because what I'm really thinking about is that everybody's going to hell and I have to tell them about Jesus. And his face turned white.
It did.
And he went like that, and he just walked away.
He did.
And then one Christmas, I gave the cast the Bible on cassette. Because, I didn't proselytize at work. My goal was to be funny, show up on time, and do the best I could. But I couldn't help but worry about their souls. And I never preached or anything like that. They knew I was a Christian because I didn't say bad words and stuff. But anyway, this one Christmas, I thought, how can I tell them everything I know about the Bible? I know so many fantastic things that, and I thought, I know, I'll get them the Bible on cassette that they could put in their car, because in the 80s, the new thing was to have a cassette player in your car. Remember that?
Yes, the cassette players.
Yeah, and so I wrapped them up and put it in front of each of their dressing room doors, and one cast member returned hers with a note on it that said, I already have one.
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful story. And your entire career, you worked hard, obviously, but you were unapologetically Christian. Were you allowed to be? And did your, towards present times, as you got closer to present times, was it more difficult? My political awakening was the Tea Party in 2010. It was? Wow.
Yeah, and when I publicly sang there's a communist living in the White House, all my stand-up comedy gigs disappeared immediately because my agent at APA, Jackie, she said, I can't sell you anymore because all of the club owners are liberals. They're not going to hire you. And then when I came out and said that Glee, the TV show, should not have two teenage boys kissing as one of the threads of their show because innocent children's minds are watching that.
They are.
I got kicked. I came out and said that Glee, the TV show, should not have two teenage boys kissing as one of the threads of their show because innocent children's minds are watching that.
They are.
I got kicked. I lost all my agents. My agent in Atlanta said, I can't sell you. All the people who work for me are gay. And then, so I lost my career about 2010. And
have we lost our way forever? Like, is it done? Because I'll tell you what, I wasn't liberal. I was a conservative Republican when I was 11 years old, but I loved the arts. I loved comedy. I loved what all of the liberals were producing. I loved it.
Yeah.
So could we ever say, okay, well, we got hijacked, all the things that we've appreciated all of our lives as far as comedy and, and film, is it forever gone?
Well, the Bible says if you love Jesus, you will be hated because they hate him. Because he holds them accountable and they don't want to admit their sin or their pride. So no matter what field you're in, if you stand up for Christ, you're going to be persecuted.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But I also want to say that show business is a very hard career if you're a Christian. And my dad told me that when I was 16. He said, what do you want to be? And I said, I don't know. And he goes, well, if you could be anything, what would you be? I said, I would be Julie Andrews on The Sound of Music with my 7 children in matching clothes playing the ukulele on top of a mountain. And he goes, that sounds like an actress. And I said, oh. And then he goes, I don't recommend it because Christianity and show business don't get along. They don't mix very well. And he said, but if that's what you want to be, give it 100%. So that's what
And that's what you did.
Now, I had trouble. I had decisions that were hard, like should I be in the movie Casual Sex? My first leading role, Leah Thompson. And I worked so hard, and I've done little roles, Family Business with Sean Connery, and, little roles. And this was my first leading role. And there was no nudity in the script. It wasn't pro-casual sex. It was anti-casual sex. My character on the poster's going, but after we started shooting, the director asked me if I would show my butt naked during a massage scene. I said, Genevieve, my character's the shy one, but nobody shows their butt during a massage. I mean, especially a shy girl. So, there was arguments and there was, what are they going to fire me? I mean, it's hard when you're 20. Nobody wants to see my butt anymore. Please ask to see my butt.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Is this time that we're in right now, and you're serving our country. I mean, for you to be there, I thought about that. When I met you out there, and I'm like, here we are standing here in a group of 1 million, godly patriots. I said, this is the patriot right here. Those that went to D.C., and there were a lot of them, were serving our country. They knew that there was a calling. Our commander-in-chief said, come out here. Let's stand together. We're upset about what they're doing to us, and we went. And I appreciate your service now to our country. Your website, and I'm going to make a comment here. I'm going to have the final word here because it's important. VictoriaJackson.com is your website where people can find your stuff and stay in contact with you. You're on YouTube, is that right? You've got your own little show that you do periodically?
Yeah, the Vicki, Wicki, Wacky Jackson Show.
The Vicki, Wicki, Wacky Jackson Show.
The last one had Melissa Carone on it.
Did you
just
really
talk to her?
Yes, she is. That's a godly patriot right there. But I just saw it. It just came up here. The Vicki, here it is.
No, you gotta go to the black box
Right here.
and go to read more. And go to read more. You see the little read more thing?
There we go. Good.
Now scroll up. Scroll up. Week 40. I've done it for 40 weeks. Okay, scroll. Week 40 was Melissa Carone. Because of the January 6th rally, I got to meet her through a friend, and she's running for office now.
She is, and she should. Oh, absolutely. What a patriot she is. So week 40, starring Melissa Carone. You can go to victoriajackson.com, and with you, there she is. You had her on. Fantastic. This is great.
Because Newsweek compared the two of us.
Did they really? Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, do you mind if I share this with our listening audience? I'm going to put it on our 24/7 stream. It's a 44-minute interview. I'd like to do that.
Oh, it's really sure.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I want to share that with our viewing audience on our 24/7 stream. The Vicki, Wicki, Wacky Jackson show. We'll share it with our listening audience. All right, now I have a statement for you. Ready? We're winding down here. I've done 2,500 plus episodes. I've viewed, obviously my career is nothing close to yours, but as a talk show host, I left the business. I felt that I had to serve my country and try to make sense and go up against Obama, the communist. I knew what he was. And I've interviewed a lot of people. I'm actually coming away right now. And I'm not saying this to suck up to you or anything like that. I can't get enough of you. I wish that I could I'm serious. I'm feeling like I want to keep going here and talk with you.
I wish my husband would say that.
I can't get enough of you. I want to invite you to come back on the other side of this thing, whatever it is that's happening tomorrow. I want to invite you back on very soon. Can we bring her back on? Can you come back on in the next week or two?
Yeah.
Will you do that?
Yeah.
What a beautiful spirit you are. So I'm now saying good night to you. But I'll tell you what, I'm thirsty for more. I want to bring you back on and have these conversations because I really think that we can make America godly again. I think that's an important role that we're going to serve.
For what you're doing. Thank you for your brave daily fight for freedom and for serving in the Marines. And we appreciate it so much, your passion for the truth. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. Wow, what a great conversation. Thank you so much. Great conversation, you guys. We're going to have Victoria Jackson on again here to have this conversation, just review what just happened.
Still give you aid, I'll strengthen you, help you, and cause you to stand upheld by my righteous, omnipotent hand. When through the deep waters I call you to go, the rivers of sorrow shall not overflow, for I will be with you, your troubles to bless and sanctify to you your deepest distress. When through fiery trials your pathway shall lie, my grace all sufficient shall be your supply. The flame shall not hurt you, I only design your dross to consume and the gold to